welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jada and today we're going to be talking about learning Korean. So I've been studying Korean for like 2 years now, and honestly this is the first foreign language I've ever actually picked up, because I can actually decently speak Korean. Okay, that's a little far-fetched. I speak a little less than an average 5-year-old in Korea, okay? Some people are trying to learn how to speak Korean, and I'm just gonna give advice on how how I learned Korean, and maybe it could help you learn Korean as well. So we're just gonna get right into the video. I'm sorry, that was really awkward. Okay, we're just gonna start. As everyone does on their language learning journey, they start with Duolingo, the owl that everybody wants to fuck for some reason. I don't know. It's a decent app. I'm here to like somewhat kind of recommend it, but kind of not. It's not the greatest app to learn a language, especially like I don't even know who learned a language to fluency with Duolingo. Please tell me who, because I want to know. But with Korean, I did start with Duolingo. And actually not Duolingo, but also Memrise, if anyone has ever heard of that app. I think that was the app that like introduced me to Hangul, which is the very first step to your Korean learning experience. Learn Hangul, aka the Korean alphabet. This is like the most important thing to learn when it comes to Korean. You kind of need to know the alphabet in order to speak a language, of course. It's like, why do you think they taught us A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P? Okay, I'm not gonna sing the whole alphabet, but you get my point. Learn the alphabet, learn Hangul, and to be honest, you don't even have to know everything about Hangul. As long as they know how they are pronounced, how they sound, how they go with this letter and this letter together, then that's the main important part, okay? Things I would recommend, like, you know, apps or like stuff that I would recommend to help you learn Hangul would be YouTube videos. There's also some apps like Duolingo, Memrise, as well as lingodeer that could help you learn the Korean alphabet. So if you want to start by learning Hangul, I would recommend going to either YouTube or the 3 apps that I've mentioned. So of course, with every like foreign language ever, especially with a foreign alphabet, it's going to be difficult to remember how each letter and syllable are pronounced. But with Korean, I can give you a few tips on how to actually memorize them. So some people actually memorize them by picturing them, as like this one YouTuber. His name is Sam, and I found this from a video from Jolly, which are like 2 British YouTubers, and Ollie is someone trying to learn Korean, and this guy Sam, who's well known in Korea, teaches Ollie how he can memorize the alphabet by connecting them with pictures. I'll show you a clip.
You read Korean?
조금.
조금. See, I could give you a really kick-ass lesson on how to learn the Korean alphabet.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an example.
Whiteboard, yes.
If you look at the kiok, pretend it's Bruce Lee doing a kick. That gives you the K.
Nice.
The nian, you put an I here, it's a nose. Do you get? If you put a handle there, it becomes a door. The mium, put some eyes here, and it's a mouth. The biup related this to a beer.
Yeah.
So if you visualize it, it makes it so much easier to learn it and memorize it.
Yeah, I thought that's a great way to learn. But the way I learned was that I honestly just started looking at Korean words, like sentences, and just tried to read them. Even if I didn't really remember which letter was like which or how it sounded, I just tried my best to read, even though I didn't really memorize Hangul at that point, but I still tried to read with my best ability. And that's pretty much all you can do when it comes to practicing. And with practice, you'll memorize how each letter, how each syllable is pronounced. And once you know the basic rules of Hangul, you should be okay to move on to learning the pronunciation rules of Korean, which is the next step. So learning the pronunciation rules of Korean was honestly one of the complex ideas of the language, but once you understand pachim, or like just general pronunciation rules, you're honestly set. You can read Korean. You can at least decently pronounce Korean words, okay? There is this one video that I found on YouTube that I found especially helpful when it came to learning pachim, or like just pronunciation rules in general. So I'll try finding that video. I'll link it down below, and if I can't find it, I'll link a different video down below so you can help. I also some textbooks, like some Korean textbooks, actually explain the idea of pachim, but not just Korean textbooks, but also like Talk to Me in Korean has great lessons on it as well. I think it's in their free curriculum on their website. I think it's not in one of their beginner levels, but it's like in a more complex level. You don't have to be completely 100% sure with how to pronounce every Korean word, but once you get the decent idea of how to pronounce Korean sentences or like words, then you should be okay. Just keep practicing, and even with listening and like, you know, learning more rules as you go, you'll understand how some words should be pronounced. Because like with Korean, there's some weird rules in there where some are like, why is it pronounced like that? But then it's just for more natural speaking. That's pretty much it. The only reason why it's not pronounced the way you think it should based on Hangul itself is just because for more ease to speak, it's more comfortable to speak this way than speaking it the way you would think it would be spoken with just the rules of Hangul itself. So that's why there's pronunciation rules, as well as like, you know, English has its own pronunciation rules. There's so many stupid pronunciation rules in English that it's just like, what the fuck? No offense. But you know what I mean? Another great way to help with pronunciation, and not just pronunciation, but memorization of Hangul, is actually singing along to your favorite songs that are sung in Korean. So like singing along to songs that are sung in Korean actually really help with 1, your pronunciation, 2, your memorization of Korean, 3, your listening abilities to hear familiar words in the song, 2, your speaking ability, blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm trying to sound smart. I'm sorry. But if you're a fellow K-pop fan like me, you probably have a K-pop album. Let's say like the new BTS album, Persona. A lot of K-pop albums will have the lyrics in the back of the album. Okay, the truth is, learning a language versus learning how to sing a song is in like 2 different areas of your brain. It's not going to help you learn the language, but it's going to help you recognize the alphabets. It's going to help you recognize words, help you pronounce words and everything. So it's not necessarily going to teach you how to speak Korean, but it's going to help you with pronunciation, reading, comprehension, etc. So with their popular hit song Boy With Love, you can like look at their lyrics, sing them or read them. But if you don't feel like singing, of course, in almost literally every K-pop album, there's gonna be a message from whatever K-pop artist, and there's gonna be messages to whoever they're trying to say thank you to, because they have a thank you area in the K-pop album. So like you can just refer back and see their messages, their letters, and be like, oh, this is one way I used K-pop albums to help me learn Korean. It's just singing their songs and just looking at their thank you messages and reading them out loud. That would honestly really help you. So once you've got like the basics of pronunciation and reading and comprehending, is comprehensing a word? I don't know. I'm trying to sound smart. I'm sorry. Once you got the basics of pronunciation with Korean down, you can move on to studying grammar and vocabulary. Vocabulary is so important. I would honestly suggest learning vocab before grammar, because like without vocabulary, there's nothing to plug in to grammar once you know grammar. Like, for real. learning vocabulary is so important when it comes to like learning any language in general. But I swear to God, I want to kick my ass sometimes because I just wish that I learned vocabulary before I did grammar. But once you are done with learning the basics of pronunciation, move on to vocabulary and grammar. Now, a good app to learn vocabulary would be Lingodeer, because it's honestly like, it not only provides grammar lessons, but as well it has vocabulary that you can learn. So Lingodeer is really good for both grammar and vocabulary. But honestly, like, the main reason why I like the app Lingodeer is that it helps you like not just recognize, you know, how Korean is spelled, recognize which word is which, but like it helps you with your listening abilities and your speaking abilities. Like, yo, that app is so good. I don't know how it is nowadays because I downloaded it before it had like this new update with its new terms, and apparently you have to pay before you can even do anything like that, which sucks. But yeah, with Lingodeer's new terms and conditions, I'm not too sure how it operates now, because with the app before its new terms and conditions, I have like all access to their lessons. I can blah blah blah, I don't know. And one day I recommended to my friend, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, I can only do this much. I'm like, what? I have all access to the app, but all of a sudden you have to have like a membership or something, which is shitty. Like, come on, you were a great app, now you're just turning into one of those shitty ones. I'm sorry. Like, I understand it's a good app and like you should pay for good things, but like, I don't know. So if you want, you can check out Lingodeer. I'm not too sure how it is nowadays. I still use it, but like I said, I still have access to like all the abilities it has on the app. I'm not too sure how it is nowadays. If you were to download it like today, I'm not sure how it would be, but that's the app that I've liked the most when it comes to learning Korean, because like I said, it helps with speaking abilities, with listening abilities, with, you know, learning vocabulary and grammar is so good, amazing, I love it. That's the app that I would recommend. I mean, and if it doesn't work, like nowadays when you download it now, like I said, some people don't have access to everything, then I don't know what to say. Like, you can probably use Memrise, you can probably use Duolingo, but like Lingodeer was probably the best app I've ever used when it came to learning Korean. So if you wanna get the membership, I would suggest it because it's a really good app. I believe it is. But some people like whatever they like, so, you know, try whatever works for you. When you think you're ready to delve into the grammar of Korean, like I said, Talk to Me in Korean is a great free source to learn Korean grammar. And honestly, it is like amazing on how much free content they have on their website, and just, they also have an app, by the way, that has all their lessons and etc. And even their YouTube channel has really good videos on just basic frequently asked questions about Korean, or even just like, they have lots of stuff, free content. They also have stuff that you can pay for, of course, but like overall they have so much free content, and like, it's amazing. Check out their website, check out their curriculum. Start on lesson 1 if you're brand new to Korean. If not, you can take their what's it called again? Placement test. You can take their placement test and you can see which level you're on, but I honestly suggest starting from level 1, even though you may be a level 5. Start from level 1, go through each lesson, level 2, each lesson, 3, and just build up from there, because each lesson has like so many grammar points, so many grammar lessons, just like so much. It's just so much great content that is actually free. And not just that, not only does it come with like what you can call a textbook PDF, or like, you know, textbook notes, but it comes with a link to like SoundCloud, where you can, like a podcast, they have a podcast to help go along with their free lessons. You can listen to their podcast on SoundCloud and go with the lesson. It's like you're being taught there, even though you can't really speak to them, but it's like great. It's great to learn because you're listening, you're reading, taking notes. It's like you're just in a class, like an online class, literally. It's so good, and I would honestly recommend Talk to Me in Korean. It's so good. It's such a good app, website, whatever you call it. It's so good. Great place to learn Korean. I so suggest it. Thanks to them, my Korean grammar is just so, I don't even know. Like, I learned so much from Talk to Me in Korean. I'm currently on level 4 of Talk to Me in Korean, which is not too bad. Like, the highest level of Talk to Me in Korean so far is level 10. Actually, it's level 9, but they're starting level 10 now. So, like, there's so much lessons you can learn on Talk to Me in Korean. It's so good. Definitely recommend it. And I also just wanted to say that a lot of the stuff that they're teaching on their curriculum, which is free, by the way, I can't say this enough, is also taught in like regular Korean textbooks. And I can prove this because I bought a Korean textbook and I was learning from this Korean textbook, and I'm like, hey, they taught this on talktomeinkorean.com for free. So like, I honestly suggest learning from Talk to Me in Korean before buying a Korean textbook, because I'm just saying, like, you can get this stuff for free. What I also use for like grammar and etc. for Korean is actually just a random book that I got from my bookstore, my local bookstore. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that I learned in here can be taught from Talk to Me in Korean, but it's still honestly good. If you honestly want to go buy a textbook, you can. It's a good idea. But you just gotta know that some things are not completely natural from textbook form, so you just gotta be aware of that as well. You gotta know which textbook is good and which textbook is not, based on like, you just gotta have a basic idea of natural Korean speaking. And because some textbooks will teach you, like, you know how there's a textbook way of talking when it comes to English, like, oh, like one thing I especially notice with Korean speakers, well, like with, you know, native Korean people speaking English, instead of saying like, oh, I'm so jealous, they say, oh, I envy you, I envy you. And I'm just like, envy? Like, I'm sorry, no one says envy, just saying. How do you even say that in Korean? Oh, 부럽다. So just saying. I got off topic, but like, yeah, you just beware of like, some textbooks are good, some textbooks teach you natural way of speaking Korean, and then some textbooks are not good and they teach you unnatural way of speaking Korean. Just keep that in mind. But like, the reason why I recommend Talk to Me in Korean so much is that their lessons are so natural, like, not natural, but like, they teach you a natural way to speak Korean for free. It's just so good. I recommend it so much. Talk to Me in Korean is a good site. So now that you have a basic grasp of the Korean language, like by learning grammar and how to pronounce everything, blah 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 blah, vocabulary, you should now be able to decently speak Korean. You have to practice. You need to practice the language in order to actually speak it, of course. Duh. That's the reason why you're learning a language, isn't it? So I recommend, one, you know, make friends who speak the language. 2, if there's no one in your local area, get a language exchange app. Language exchange apps are actually pretty good. Depends what kind of people you find on there. Of course, everyone online is not going to be the most amazing person ever. I would recommend the app hellotalk. It's a decent app. I've met some cool people on there, and I was able to practice my Korean, and it was honestly a good experience. I haven't had a bad experience on hellotalk, to be honest. Like, I've been studying Korean for 2 years, and I felt like I've only improved when I actually started talking to native speakers. And this is after studying grammar, this is after vocabulary, this is after all of the things that I've done before. Once I actually started talking to a native speaker in Korean, my Korean level when like it was like boom, all of a sudden I'm like decent Korean speaker. It's crazy, man. You know what it's called? It's called immersion. And that's onto my next point. Immersion of the Korean language. Now, there's multiple ways to merge yourself into the Korean language. You don't even have to go to Korea. Like, after watching TEDx videos, I know, I'm a nerd. Anyway, after watching videos like that, I realized like the only way you're gonna grasp a language is if you like immerse yourself into it, which is half true and half not, because some people have actually traveled to Korea and not actually learned any Korean at all, surprisingly. Like, how do you travel and live in a country and not learn any of the language? I don't know. But anyway, some people do, some people don't. But like immersing yourself into the language is so important, especially if you're learning it. Like, it forces you to like listen to the words, because you don't understand anything if you don't. So you gotta listen to it and you gotta comprehend how they speak, whatever. So you know, you gotta just force yourself to look at the language. Ways to do this is you can actually change your phone language into the language you're speaking, in this case Korean. So you can change your phone language into Korean, which is both, it's good and it's confusing at times. It does bring immersion into the language, into your life. Even if you don't actually live in South Korea, even if you don't live near people who constantly speak Korean, you know what I mean? Another way to immerse yourself into the Korean language is actually look for Korean YouTubers who speak 100% Korean, no English, and just watch their videos. The best option would be to find a YouTuber who speaks no English, 100% Korean with Korean subtitles. With watching these videos in the language you're learning, with the subtitles in the language you're learning, apparently it helps you learn the language so much better than you actually do with obviously English subtitles, and 2, the video without subtitles. So the best option would be to find a YouTuber who speaks 100% Korean with Korean subtitles. And I actually have a YouTuber recommendation, but her name is Hyunji. I'll link her Instagram too, but you can find her YouTube channel, I'll link it down below. She's so funny. She's like amazing. I love her YouTube channel. She's just so entertaining and I love her and I love watching her YouTube videos. So yeah, I recommend her. She's really cool. And yeah, so like a way to like completely immerse yourself into the Korean language, of course, the very last option would be to actually go to Korea and study Korean there, or live there, teach there, or work there, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, whatever gets you to Korea. That's a good way to obviously immerse yourself into the language. The reason why I bring this up is that there's actually a study program called EF, wherever you're from. For me, it's EF Canada. So EF is a study abroad program that allows you to study a language in the country where the language is mainly spoken. In this case, EF Korea allows you to study Korean in Korea. And honestly, I feel like I haven't tried it before, but I personally want to. Like, I actually want to like go through this program. So if you haven't heard of EF Canada, or EF Seoul, that's what it's called, not EF Korea, sorry. It's called EF Seoul. Anyway, you can study Korean in Seoul, which is the cool part. So if you're interested in something like that, I can link that down below as well. Other people also can like study Korean in university in Korea as well. So if not EF Seoul, then they can like study in an actual university. Some people use Sogang, or some people go to, I don't even know, where else do other people go? Yonsei, people go to Yonsei, Sogang, etc, etc. Whatever fits your life, whatever fits you. Thing is, with EF Seoul, you don't have to be a university student. You can be actually a high school student, and you can go through EF Seoul to learn Korean in Korea. So those are just some ideas for you if you want to learn. So yeah, those are some ideas to immerse yourself not into just the language, but as well maybe the country if that's what you want. So yeah, those were my tips to learn and study Korean. I hope that this has helped. I hope this inspires you to learn Korean, or just any other language in general. So yeah.